I'm back to using my cell phone as a microphone for a bit. Anyways, I bought myself a CD and canceled my Spotify subscription. Would you believe me if I told you that this came in broken? Lately, I've been feeling a disconnect with like my music as a passion, like listening to music, engaging with music. For those that don't know me, that's like a cornerstone in my identity. And lately, I've felt a bit more neutral towards it, a little bit more less excited. I want to take care of that. And like, I know interest will kind of ebb and flow throughout time. Like there will be times where I'm more into games or books or like comics or painting or whatever compared to something else. But with music, I just kind of felt like I was hitting this rut and I didn't like that. I didn't like that I was entering this glaze of interest. So, glaze, is that the word I'm looking for? Haze. I was looking for the word haze. And this isn't the first time I've experienced this. Like back in like 2018, I kind of had a similar feeling. And my solution to that was to make these playlists that were semi-frequent catalogings of my musical listening habits. I called them personal cultures, and they would just have like the music I was listening to at the time put onto them. It was a nice thing to do, and it kind of kept me interested in listening to new music and appreciating music in general. It was a great time, but that was like over 5 years ago, and while I still like making them, they're not fulfilling the same purpose. So I thought I had to shake it up a little bit more. So I wanted to look back into my roots. My first attempt at this was to get like an MP3 player and listen to music on the go again. See, at first I wanted to get like an iPod Nano. That's like how I first got into music, and I really like that device. I like how it looks. It's nostalgic, and I like the form factor of it too. And the layout, it's just a nice music listening device. But the batteries in most of them are shot, and repairing those batteries is like outside of my level of expertise. If you want to see a nightmare, look up like iPod Nano battery replacement. It's hell. So I bought a cheap MP3 player, and like it works. It's kind of neat. It has an SD card slot, which is actually really appreciated. I can't replace the battery, but however, I found out while using that I wasn't really listening to music out and about as much anymore. So as a teenager, when I started listening to music at 15, yes, I used my iPod a lot. Now, not so much. I'm mostly listening to music at home. So back to the drawing board. The other part of like me and music as a 15-year-old adolescent in 2008. So I was like buying music. I was either buying CDs or I was buying music off of iTunes, which was fantastic. YouTube was also a factor in this. Like I could look up a lot of music on there that wasn't on iTunes or wasn't easily accessible to buy. So things like video game soundtracks and foreign music. But YouTube was kind of a clunker, and it wasn't like my ideal service to use for listening to music. It was a good backup, if anything. And I know there were more illicit means of getting music, but I was a good kid, and I also did not know how to not get viruses, so I didn't bother with that kind of stuff. So I thought that would be an interesting way to go. And Spotify raised their price recently, and Spotify's also been controversial lately. So I thought this would be a good time to like cancel my subscription and try going back to that old time of buying music. Say words. So yeah, I bought Brat by Charlie XCX. It was a CD that was shattered in shipping. It was an album that my friend Stosh raved about. He liked it quite a bit, and he got good reviews online. And I thought this would be kind of like similar to how I listened to music before. That being what really just buying music based on good word of mouth and not knowing what was fully in it. And I listened to the album and I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was fantastic. I had a great time, and you know, it's cool to own it. It was a hassle to get. I had to like order it to pick it up at a store. They didn't have it in the store, so they had to ship it to me anyways. I don't know. But right, I didn't say how I've been listening to this music, do I? On my computer, I have a decent enough setup. I have Bose speakers. And I know audiophiles aren't the biggest fan of Bose speakers, but I like them. They get the job done. One day I'll have a big, super nice setup, but I'm not there yet. For now, these do the trick. And I've been using the program MusicBee because I liked using iTunes, but every time I use it, it asks me to log in like 5 different times, and its layout isn't peak anymore. So I downloaded MusicBee, a pretty cool program, and installed a layout that makes it look like my favorite version of iTunes, which is fantastic. I love it a lot. And it's nice to like get my albums all together in one place, like digital downloads as well and CDs and yada yada. I actually wanted to take a crack at this at first with Matt Champion's new album, Mika's Laundry, but there's no CD available for purchase. And unless it's for like a smaller artist that reasonably can't justify making a physical run of something, I have a hard time justifying buying a digital version of something, like a digital only version. Ideally, you sell a vinyl and you include digital download links. Shout outs to everyone that does that. And this is also not like a streaming sucks kind of video. Streaming has been great. Streaming has gotten me into so much more music. Like, it's been a wonderful service. Like, just off the top of my head, here's like a handful of albums that I've gotten into because I had access to them through streaming. So it's been good. But I think it's one of those things that I've started to take for granted, and that's why I want to try stepping away from it for a while. I got access to streaming in 2012, and before then, my range of music was really limited to what I could physically get access to or pay for, and I was 15, so I had no job, so gift money. But you know, since I only had so much money, I kind of tended to stay within the range of music that I knew I liked, so pop punk and like post-rock, I don't know. So when Spotify came into my life, it was like fantastic. I could explore so much music, and the only cost it really took from me was like time and passive time as well. Like, you can listen to music and also do other things. That's kind of like the nice thing about it as like a passion or hobby or anything really. But yeah, I think like 10 years later, I think that infinite access to everything has just made me kind of take it all for granted. I don't feel like I'm really listening to albums and music as like intently as I would like to, and I feel like doing some kind of change like this should do shake things up, because I think that's okay to have once in a while. It's okay to want to shake things up with passions and interests and hobbies. So yeah, I'm like a week into this fully. So far, it's been pretty good. I've been kind of enjoying not using Spotify as like my primary music listening service. It's nice to organize my albums on my MusicBee, which is a me thing, and I do think I'll get use out of the MP3 player, just probably at the gym or something. It'll be more sporadic. I'll probably do a follow-up to this video at some point once I've gotten like a real taste of it, and I end up going back up to oh wait, I forgot. YouTube is also still like a factor. I still do use YouTube for music. Its interface has gotten a lot better for music, and like the quality of uploads is in general nicer. For things I don't have but still like, and things that are just harder to get still, because that's still a problem, it's nice. It's still not great. Even YouTube Music, their like music dedicated version, only runs in the browser, and I don't like its interface as much. So it's not preferable. So it's not like becoming a replacement for streaming. It's also, just like it was back then, a backup. Some things never change. What can I say? So yeah, anyways, if you've been feeling like you've been taking, I guess, music or any kind of passion for granted, something that's very important to you, I would recommend maybe trying something like this, whatever that would mean to you. This is my solution. This is my experiment, and I'm very curious and excited to see where it goes. But, you know, I just don't want to become one of those people that like in 50 years, I guess, but let's say like 10 years. That's more realistic. No, in 10 years where my interests just stopped at a certain point and I no longer was engaging with new things. And not just like new as in like upcoming, I mean like new as in new to me. I love exploring and finding out new things, and I want to keep that spark alive, and I think I just need to take care of that for a little while. So yeah, that's it. I don't have a good conclusion to this video. I made it. If you would like to hear that little montage of music, I hit the door. Here's a playlist. It's probably elsewhere. I should write conclusions. I should write endings to videos. What do you think?